Yo, hello everybody. Welcome to nope. Welcome to
Oops, all berries.
Oops. No, I accidentally activated battle cam. So I was like, oh, because I moved it in the line. Because
Welcome to a fight right away.
we're gonna fight. Let's go. It's
Like you're
time.
telegraphing some intentions there, champ.
I don't know what you're talking about. I always do
Ooh,
everything.
12 battle maps, I see.
4 is child's play now. Now we're moving on to the big time. Hello.
Fibonacci battle maps.
Ooh, can you imagine? I just have them stacked.
Just
in
the
like,
Tesseract, they kind of just warp in on each other.
I'll figure something out. I have some more cardboard boxes in my closet. I can build something. If they build it, they will come, and then they will die.
Trevor, when you're there in 3 weeks, find out the secrets.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take stuff
He'll
down.
never know.
I'll have to take all this stuff down off the walls. It's fine.
He's not currently recording, is he?
He's not paying attention at all. No.
We just get this video.
I'll send you the secrets in
I'm
Zoom.
hiding.
He won't know to look in there.
Aaron's going to have to rent a whole new apartment for just that week. Just so he doesn't have to move anything.
It's fine. We're all
This
fine.
is the void where I keep Trevor.
Announcements.
I'll keep them in a portable hole. It's fine. Okay. Oh, thanks. Cool. You all have such cool character. Thank you so much, Aaron. Your mate. You are a cool character. So there. That was
Take
the best
that
I had.
classic
Take
burn
that.
from Aaron.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We have some fun and exciting announcements. To start with, we have a trailer to show you of something that will be popping up really, really soon. And by really, really soon, I mean like
Sunday.
So,
Sunday.
and if for whatever reason you miss out on it right now, I will play it again here on the break. But for right now, for those of you who are here, Sunday, I have a special little thing. So if you haven't popped up the stream already, guys, I definitely suggest that you check out what we are about to showcase. So without any further ado, here we go, guys. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this off for the moment. And action.
It is a name that drove fear back into our hearts and minds, drove us to the very brink of extermination at the edges of our own universe.
And not just yours, but the Fae as well.
What happened in your realms was mirrored in ours.
And so together, we found a way to leave everything behind. Our homes, our way of life, our universe. All of it gone.
All with the hope that we could gain a power as strong as his, and use it against him, united as a people.
As the Drea. So we came to Mir, this new and young universe. One whose fate is still being decided by its own people. And thanks to the sacrifice of our elders, we know this was Beldura's home.
And together, we will find a way to stop him, once and for all.
At least they will try.
Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing. I'm gonna read you the video with the actual date, but we will be starting. Ominous Squelching is the new closed captioning winner for the month of February, coming in right at the end. That would be amazing. If I read that while reading closed captioning, Ominous Squelching continues, I think I would just stop the movie because it couldn't get any better than that. Anyway, yes, so coming Sunday, March 3rd, we are going to have some returning faces as well as some new ones and a familiar one. So it should be a lovely little time. It's going to be a nice little short run. So we'll be doing that on Sundays. Insert Ryan Reynolds shiver again. We'll be running that on Sundays for the next couple of weeks at 7 p.m. Central. Looking forward to seeing what the Old Kingdom has in store for humanity and the rest of civilization. But if you did happen to miss this, we will be posting it on our very own Instagram that we have now. So now this, oops, wait, nope, hold on. I was prepared for this. So, no, put them together. Damn it. That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just copy the relevant part of the link.
Yeah. Instagram. That's amazing. I put a space in there and I thought it was like one on top of the other. Forget it. Anyway, I'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. But yes, look up Knights of Silver Moon just on Instagram and you can find us there. As we will be posting little videos and whatnot here after a while. So there's that. We have two more. Also, this Friday, Grouch Couch is going to have our lovely Penthos doing the Actually game this Friday. So if you are gonna let's go and cheer on our lovely Hunter boy, who is indeed who is Penthos. Janasi Kwa will be over on Grouch Couch with them. As well as one of our friends, Crimson. You'll also see him there. I believe Peter from D&D with me and Raina from Careful Cantrip are all going to be on there. So it's going to be a lovely quadruple threat. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get to all hang out there on Friday. And then also on Sunday during the day, Dreamy.
So before Aaron kills all of the characters and ends the world... Come hang out over at Top Down Tabletop. I will be guesting there as we do 2 parts of Kids on Brooms. It's a lovely Harry Potter-esque system minus the turfs, and it's a continuation from a 2-part we did last year. So if you want to come see me be a super angsty punk rock teen, come join us. I think we're fighting something called a Bumble Dragon.
I hope that it's...
That is at 1 p.m.
Was not sold until the very last word.
Central.
No, couldn't be more so.
What time Central?
1 p.m.
1
Central.
p.m. Central. Okay.
It's in the Discord.
Nice. Bumble Dragon is the best band name. See, Bumble Dragon, I hope that it is literally a bumblebee the size of a dragon.
It has come from the mind of Vix, so it can be anything.
Does it go bzzz?
It has one turn in combat and then dies.
It's just a particularly clumsy dragon.
That's the other one that I was
It
thinking too.
disembowels itself upon
I'm
attacking.
picturing Hugh Grant as a bumblebee dragon.
No!
He's just so charmingly befuddled.
Please message Vix so that can happen on Sunday.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. All right, well, without further ado, let's get into tonight's episode of Age of Myth, Act 1. Here we go. I guess we'll just go ahead and jump right in there. So go for it, Cypress. Take it away.
All right. A stream of thoughts on a boat. History. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It was one of the many things my tutors never found much success in teaching me. I never really saw the importance of it before. It was the past. What did it matter? I didn't have a past, and I was doing just fine. But now, I begin to understand my error. The past is important. We come from places. We do things. We know things. We go through this lifetime gathering who we are, and at some point, we pass that on to someone else. Friends, family. Even if it's not the next generation, who and what we are ripples out like drops in the Aegean Sea, creating tidal waves on the other side. Laertes tells me that is not how waves work, but he can't be right about everything. But what happens if we don't pass anything on? What if by some twisting by the fates, there's nothing left after we go wherever it is we're going? What if important things that should never be forgotten are? I've learned some dark things in the last few days. Some terrors that have been a plague on more lives than I could count. A horror from beyond our world. And I'm apparently one of the very few who know this. Why? Why was this allowed to be lost to the past? People died. Not just back then, but recently. People may yet die. And how are we supposed to carry the weight of this history on our shoulders? Together we are strong. We have people to fight for. Each other. And those whom we will remember. Those who are part of our history. Those that we hope to be in our future. Phoebe, Themisto, Astrid, Laertes. There was another. He was tall, strong, blue. He was brave and sad. He called me a peerless friend. Why can't I remember his name? I couldn't have forgotten. It was just a few hours ago. I should have written it down. I'll write yours now, again, and again, and again, so that I never forget you. And may you never be forgotten, Asterion. For as long as I live, I know that I never will. Right?
Nice. Well done. Well done. All right. Let's see here. Twirls mustache. Indeed. All right. The waters of the Aegean Sea pass by beneath the ship. The wind fills its sails. The smell of the ocean, the salt, that slightly fishy scent of the water. It is a welcome change from the crazy that seems to have happened only hours ago. But seems now so far away as the blue sky fills the horizon. What do you guys do? You are headed westward. Last we left off.
How long has it been? Like, what's the time span that we're picking up from? Like the last 20 minutes, an hour?
Whatever you guys want.
Okay. I guess Laird just would want to spend a little bit of time with, not Hecate, in her, was it Helen or Helena of Ilum, disguise. I guess he would have been using a little bit of that time to just go over some of his recent breakthroughs in a little bit of spells, the math, the science behind it all. Happy to have someone to discuss it with in the depth that he knows that it needs to be discussed to be understood. So that's
Sure.
what he's up to right now.
Okay.
Somewhere on the ship.
Yep. Probably, for the most part, Helena of Ilum is going to choose to be up near the front of the ship. She sits with her back against the that point of the bow, and as you sit, she's like sitting on some coils of rope, just comfortably made herself like. It's almost like a beanbag, but it's just of the rope itself. So she's kind of like just sits comfortably in it, and she just watches the crew as they go about their tasks. And as you sit there with her, she listens with an intent. She's listening to you, but she has that face almost for everybody else. Kind of reminds you of when a mother is listening to their kid talk about their homework or their day at school. And there's not like she's like necessarily, how do I put this? It's not like she's like, oh, how cute, but she's like, you can see her eagerness and excitement.
Put that on the fridge.
Well, it's more of, she has an excitement for someone who is learning these things. And her eyes seem to smile every time you talk about this breakthrough or this idea, and she just kind of nods. She doesn't, not in a patronizing way. That was the word I was looking for. It's not in a patronizing way. It's just in like a teacher who is excitedly listening to a student who's like grasping everything correctly.
While it's been a number of years since he himself became a teacher, it isn't so long ago that he remembers what it's like being on the other side of it. And there is 100% a part of him that feels like he's 16, 17 again, first starting out at the university in Ilum, and finally finding that thing that he can do, that he's special at, that has really come to define him. And I suppose for him, it's like seeing that first look of someone going, oh, he gets it. And so I think he's picking up on that same expression, but it's kind of like, oh, this is a good thing. I felt the same way when I see someone in one of my classes getting it and they're explaining their idea, their thesis. So he's enjoying himself. The thing that he's probably focusing on right now is, well, she would understand what this is. As he moves a hand through the air, behind it there is a red trail, like an after image. Red shifting. Ahead of the hand, to where it's about to move to, is a blue outline, and showing where it's about to be. He goes, I've been able to play around with just a little bit of time dilation, how to channel it, how to make use of it. But it's delicate work.
You have no idea. Do you
I'm starting
understand?
to get that.
Do you understand how rare this ability of yours is? So I have trained more youngsters, more Orphics than you could possibly imagine. And I can think of maybe a handful. Maybe just a hand's worth that are able to do the things that you're able to do. For most, now, particularly, it is it's a rarity to be able to focus your abilities to not only bend matter to your will, but also energy in such a way that it affects time. One of the few that I knew could master it as well was Kronos. And that was ages ago.
Is he still around in some way?
Who's to say? Since the fall, many have been lost. Many disappeared. We were scattered. And very few of us remained in contact.
Do you know of any colonies that survived?
She smiles. There were some. There were not many, but there were some. If it weren't for the actions of several very brave souls, many more would have perished, and we may not be having the conversation we are having now. But 1,000 years, and look where civilization is now. Not half bad.
Still. Wouldn't take much for it to all go away.
You understand.
That's why I've been doing what I've been doing even before I met you. Can I ask you a small favor?
Yes, of course.
He's going to reach into that small satchel and take out 2 folded letters. They're encoded, and there's very little there that would tell anyone else what we're really doing, where we've been.
A cipher?
I'm
Well
sure
done.
child's play for you, but
every skilled person should have their own code, in my opinion. I am a keeper of secrets, after all, or one of the keeper of secrets.
I would greatly appreciate if these could get to where they need to.
She takes them into her hands and looks at them. I think we can manage that.
Thank you.
She places them on her lap for the time being.
I also want to express that I understand this, and he waves his hand through to display that red shift and blue shift again. That just because I can do this doesn't mean I always should.
Restraint. You give me more and more hope every day. Knowing one's limitations is. Some have argued before that it was a weakness, but I see it as practicality.
There's arguments for both. If I'd listened to every limitation placed on me, I wouldn't be out here. I never would have left home. You just have to push up against them and be careful of what those limitations are.
And that is a mark of wisdom.
Thank you for this favor.
Oh, of course. It's the least that Helena of Ilum can do.
I'll leave you to it. I had some things I found there that I'm rather eager to go through.
May I see?
He again reaches into that same pack and he'll show the I guess what we defined as that sort of diary crystal.
Mhm.
And then the ones that are sort of similar to his but of obviously a more industrialized make in comparison.
You have found Cleosite.
And just so I know, how are you spelling that?
Like. Oops. Wrong one. Well, I'll put it in the Discord
Okay.
also. But yes.
Oh no, Cleo.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Is that the name of the material, the make?
It is
House.
some of that
Hmm.
is material that has come from a very, very, very far away place. What
So
you have
from
made
this,
is something very, very similar that we tried to construct here once we arrived and colonized. We lacked some of the materials, but we did the best we could.
so this isn't just Old Kingdom. It's Old Universe.
I mean, two things can be true.
Fair point. And I have to ask another question. You said coming here changed you. It's what made you Orphix in the first place. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Did it happen to all Bahirans or some?
She gets this faraway look, and for the moment, begins to kind of wring her hands. She looks out to the horizon. It happened to everyone who came during the migration. To differing degrees, but everyone from that old kingdom was changed somehow.
How did it change you?
I will feel like you have already seen in part some of those changes. Our people were not as long lived as we are now. has been a blessing of sorts and a curse, I suppose. We are not incapable of dying, but we live much, much longer.
What do you know about me?
That you are smart and very capable young man. And you have some pretty good ideas in that head of yours.
You probably also know that my time is, so I understood it up till recently, limited. And I'm trying to reconcile how that works with all of this. Is that even related?
That is more of a choice that you have to make.
What do you mean?
You already understand how this universe works to a level that most people will never be able to understand. Down to its tiniest, tiniest pieces. You can change those pieces. You can alter those pieces. You can move them. If you decide to move certain pieces, you are going to be able to. But it is something that you will have to do for yourself. There are many among the most powerful of us that could change and rearrange you in a moment's, without a moment's hesitation. But this is, I feel, a decision that you would have to make. If you
And
wish,
it had to skip a generation, didn't it?
sometimes it skips multiple. Sometimes you are the first in your record. I could find a way to see if anybody in your line had shown, but it would take a diviner of sorts.
Oops.
Yoink.
You need to rearrange
Alright.
still, or do I continue?
I just move some things around.
Okay.
Our dear Cypress is under some heavy weather warnings, so
Here we
he had
go.
told us he was going to possibly pop out.
Look out, Kansas.
Oh no.
He's quiet for a moment at the mention of the diviner. My mother was like me.
In what sense?
Braille.
Ah.
In many ways, I take after her.
I see. And she...
A long time now.
Hades guard her soul. I'm sure she would be extremely proud of the boy you have become.
She taught me math in the first place.
So one day I must remember to thank her. Perhaps it is you who need rest.
Ambrosia may ease the body, but not the soul. Thank you for your time.
I'm not going anywhere. So if you wish to speak again, I will be here.
And he'll get up and quietly walk away.
Okay. And you three? What?
I would like to go up to Capitanios.
Mm-hmm.
Capitanios, do you have some time to train, or do you need to be captain right now?
We're on the sea. We're probably okay. So, I should have some time.
I guess I should also ask, would you like to train? We talked about finding a different way to tap into your gifts.
I think now is a good time. We'll be smooth sailing for the while, so yeah, this will work.
DM, what time of day is it?
Probably a little after lunch.
Okay. Now, you said last time it was rage. But put that aside. Remember, if you can, what we felt that night in that little inn. How we marveled in the joy of the gifts we have been given.
Yes, I remember.
No, admittedly, I have a better... It is my time of day right now. But... Close your eyes, Captain. What do you feel when you find yourself under the stars?
I feel peace. The vastness of the skies and the ocean. And I feel guided by them.
They guide you as your people once guided others. I know that sailors watch the stars, make maps by them. Now turn your gaze inward. Can you find that same roadmap within yourself?
She tries to take in the feeling of when she uses her starry form, but she's trying to do it without using the spell slot, more just like that feeling.
Yeah, Aaron, can we do this on vibes without mechanics?
I don't expect the powers. I'm just trying to like more flavor wise, I'm trying to she's going to she'll close her eyes again and she imagines her third eye and this purple aura that that exists there, that emanates. Because that's what she does when she feels, or when she tries to activate that. Okay. I can feel it.
Non-guided force. Let that feeling fill every inch of you.
Strange.
Make an Arcana check.
Let it be free, Astrid.
Astrid, make an Arcana check.
Hmm?
Oop. Okay. Let's do that as a... 17.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. You dive into that sense for a second, listening to Phoebe's words. And for a moment, it's there's like whenever you're in a car, have you ever felt and this is like more, God, I hope it's just only passengers and never a driver, but whenever you kind of like zone out enough to where you can kind of feel the tires, the vibration of the tires on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of like, because I remember this as a kid, like lean in road trips, you like lean on the side of the door or whatever, and you can kind of feel the vibration of the car, and you can it's almost like a sensation of feeling the friction of the air going by, the friction of the tires on the ground, and something similar in that respect, that your feet planted on the deck of the ship, you can feel not only the air passing over your skin, making your hair wisp around your face, but the sensation of the water coursing under the boat. And it goes just slightly beyond that feeling to where you can almost feel the sensation of a pool and rhythm that you don't quite understand what it is, but there's a rhythm to the world around you. To a certain degree, this would be akin to what like birds use for migration. Like you can feel like the magnetic pulses, if I was to like break it down in a player understanding. But for Astrid, it's just like this sensation of knowing that there is some underlying currents that are in the world beyond the air and the visible. There's something deeper. Yeah.
Yep.
And you have the sense that with time, it's like you can feel it at the edges of your perception, and that it goes beyond that. So you know that there is the possibility of learning it even beyond the immediate area.
He takes in the salty air. A deep breath. In and out. She tries to fill her body from the tip of her nose down through her shoulder, and out her fingertips, then down through her stomach. She can fill it through her abs, down to her legs, and down to her fingertips.
It's like every time that it goes to a new place, the phone dings. I'm just teasing. It was great timing.
Achievement unlocked.
That's what I was thinking. New spot unlocked. New spot unlocked.
She's going to, feeling that it fills her completely. She feels that aura within and all around her. She calls forth that power. And tries to...
Go ahead.
She's going to try to no, not yet.
I'm going to say that as you were focusing on this, yes, there is like a haze when you open your eyes again. like that purplish like haze on the edges. It's almost like you feel like when you feel like you're about to black out and the kind of darkness kind of goes around the edges, but it's like this purple aura. And when you look down at your skin, you look freckled. But the freckles are points of like white light that just barely shimmer on the skin. It's not a like brilliance, but it's like, especially because it's in the middle of the afternoon kind of situation, but you can see it's like like watching the light hit the water reflections on the ceiling of something. Like it's that weird like shimmeriness, but it's these little pinpricks of light that are going up and down your arm that you kind of see as they kind of like glow and fade. There is a staticness to them. It's not like they're moving across your body. There is like a repetition of these patterns. Very akin to like constellations.
She's gonna, like in amazement, look at them, and then turn to Phoebe. I got something.
You're doing it.
Now to fly. Next.
Well, we know you can do that.
It
But
takes.
a lot of energy.
Yes.
But see, you can find it without rage.
She looks on her skin once more, and within the freckles of light, she feels the constellations that appear on her skin. Animals of the ocean and of the land, and some parts of her body that are still fated, not quite developed yet. This has to mean something as well.
You know these constellations.
The serpent, the shark, an elk, the rabbit, and the wolf.
Do they mean anything to you?
These are all creatures I have seen in my life.
We know the stars tell stories. It's how we remember the great heroes of the past. Perhaps your stars tell your story.
Each one sacrificing their life for my good, for my experience, for food. A blessing. I can feel their spirits with me. Each hunt. Maybe that is it for now.
It's still good progress. Now, if you can do this in the middle of the day, imagine what you can do at night amongst the stars.
Yes. soon. I still feel drained from the fight.
While the ambrosia might have healed us physically, I think our spirits still need rest.
I keep having dreams about the creature that took my bird, about its face in the darkness in the ocean. But this time I could not activate my powers. And I was still pulled further down into the depths, drowning.
We were trapped in fears.
Are you having nightmares about your about what happened to you when the creature bewitched us?
DM, is it still the same day?
Yeah, it's only been a
Okay.
few. It's been like 2-3 hours since those events.
Okay.
I might. I was chained on an altar. The great serpent Python stood above us.
Us.
And the Mistle was there. For a moment, she did not know herself. She was told to sacrifice me, and nearly did.
If a being as great as Python asked, I would imagine that would be something you would need to do.
But
If Artemis asked me to sacrifice a goat, I would. But a human, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
even in the fear, though, I had hope.
How did you conquer this in your dream?
Well, it hurt a lot. The creature attacked me. I pulled myself free of the manacles, not without losing quite a bit of skin in the process. And Themista was able to shake herself from the dream. I don't think the creature quite understood. There's a creature of fear, and fear is loneliness. I've lived around loneliness before. But I do not think it understood that together, that love and hope is greater than fear. I would not want to repeat that situation again. But like I said, I had hope.
The
Do
mist
not
was
let yourself drown, Astrid. You're not alone. We will all work to pull you out of the water. We will all work together to make sure you fly.
together.
Together. The sun and the stars and the science and the warrior and the priestess. And... no, never mind.
And I would have liked for him to have joined us. The one with the the man we were with. The I'm forgetting. What was his name?
Who?
We just left. I gave him I don't remember. Maybe I'm still rattled about the fight.
I think so. The 5 of us, though. And Miss Helena available over there. And you have your crew together.
Would you like to do some hand-to-hand combat?
See if you can handle it.
I just have this image of like the camera panning out to the ship, and like you just see Astrid go into the water.
Into the water.
It's just druid versus monk. It's just like in my head. It's just like, oh shoot, sorry.
I didn't think this through.
It's one of those like use the opponent's motion against them, like flips Astrid over her shoulder, and there's like, oh, that's the railing.
Like, oh no, I'm gonna beat up the captain.
Amazing.
Grab, you're muted. We didn't get to hear
Phoebe
your
can
sassy.
say, look at me, I am the captain now.
Yes.
I know
And you
Astrid
start
might
giving
have home
Eric the
turf
side eye.
advantage.
That's true.
Hmm.
Astrid's the equivalent of like a Street Fighter moment where she like
Can we do like a one roll off to
calls-
see how the hand-to-hand combat goes? Just like one roll.
calls in the crew from the sidelines.
I will warn you, Phoebe, that when Astrid was Sonder and I was Iskra, I lost very badly on a ship in face off.
On a ship,
All right,
yeah.
Aaron, if we just did one roll, what should we roll?
I mean, for you, it's gonna be your
Dex.
yeah.
Astrid's dex and strength are about the same. So
Well, I'm glad this isn't strength. My strength is negative, so.
let's see. Okay.
Oh, your strength's negative. Mine's a rounding error.
Astrid will use strength and
Okay.
try to overpower the
quickness.
yeah. Okay. So then what should we roll?
Yeah. Use your strength. Use your athletics.
Athletics? Okay.
Phoebe, go ahead and do your.
I rolled.
An
did.
attack roll against me.
You can. I mean, that's up to you. I would say your acrobatics if you're trying to like out wrestle. You're not attacking per se.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
She's gonna start with her athletics, trying to grapple onto Phoebe, and take control. That's a 17.
Hold on, no. Oh, yeah.
You can get out of this.
It was only a 14 dex.
Okay.
I like this. Yeah. Okay. So what are you doing, Astrid?
If she's trying to get out of it, Astrid will use her dex to try to like re-tangle and.
I mean, you
Get
won
under
this
her foot.
roll. Yeah, you
Mhm.
won this roll off. So the Phoebe proves to be very wily and slippery, but you've handled sea monsters before, so you're just
Okay.
able to kind of keep enough of balance and control that Phoebe can't like work out and slip out as much as she's trying to like she does like these like you got my arms but then twist backwards and kind of like loops around and like
Yeah.
but you're still able to like wrestle and hold.
She's gonna try to get one of her feet under her and like slide and get her on the floor, kind of like that kind of thing.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Unless you're wanting to roll again.
Not
You're
good.
really going to let the Capitanios keep the upper hand?
Sweep
Trying.
tries it with the 7, trying to sweep under your feet.
Okay, you want to do another roll?
Yeah, go for it.
This is
Okay,
like-
well that is a 25.
Woo!
I try sweeping under your feet. What do you do?
I want to, because I'm dexterous but not strong. As you're trying to like fling me over, I want to use your like all momentum against you and like follow it, but like slip out and maybe you'll
Yeah.
fall instead.
And that's probably what happens.
Yep.
Oh, okay. See, I did it in the store.
Nice.
First
Then
try.
there's their
First
cheers
try.
Then like kind of
Eric,
Mhm.
Eric's who's sitting there on the who walks up the stairs as you guys just finish that, just shakes her head. You're embarrassing me, Captain. You could have
Hey, I'm
done
not
that.
good at hand to hand. I'm more of a spear fighter. You know this.
I'm going to keep my comments to myself.
I almost
Where-
had the upper
I mean, you
hand
can
for
share
a
them if
second.
you want to, Alex.
She looks at Phoebe and just goes, "No, it's okay." Captain, where are we going?
We're heading west, towards
Yes. We are heading west. But
towards Sparta. But
there
not
is a
Sparta,
whole lot of
because
ocean and a lot of little islands in the way.
I think we should stop at the Temple of Demeter. Get
Sure.
some supplies. That's about halfway there, and then continue on the way.
So you want us to go south?
Southwest.
Sure.
It's a bit of a ways out, but still needed. We'll need a place to stay for the night.
Well, we should make Mykonos by nightfall. If you want to keep going down to Naxos, we can do that.
Naxos. Yes, that's it.
Aaron, do you have the map you can post again?
I
had it bookmarked and it no longer works
Oh.
right now.
Same.
The same happened to me. I have the new thing, and I'll give it to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's been a bit of a refresh in some of the CDN server for Discord, so
Okay, I'm putting it in slow burn.
Thank you.
okay.
So Naxos is the further down
hmm
in
Mykonos.
K19.
Yep.
We'd made our sail our way from
You
Icaria.
were kind of closer to where where it says Aegean Sea. You were kind of closer to the A, and going westward from just below the A. So you'll be going southward to get to Naxos.
Gotcha. Okay. Because we're trying to go towards.
Because you were basically between where it says C and Icaria. You were in that right in the center there.
I have the 4 places that we need to go to.
Okay. So, sailing along that
Um,
direction.
Would I know that Delos is on the way?
Probably.
Yeah, it'd be like right there.
Capitanios. If we're sailing south anyway, maybe we could stop at Delos. It
What
was
is
not one
this?
of the places mentioned. But maybe there's something there.
We can stop there on the way. That is fine. It's not far from the temple. And yeah, what is the significance of this place to you?
It's... Well, perhaps knowing now what we do, it is not true, but the ancient stories say that is where Apollo was born.
Then we stop there.
Thank you.
Okay. if we're in the A, then I think it would be good to stop by Delos first, make our way down to Naxos for the night, and then tomorrow head south. Or sorry, head west. That's okay. Past Barrows, Serifos. Maybe land on.
You'll get to Delos by nightfall. If you continue on to Naxos, it'll be a little trickier to navigate because it'll be after dark by that point.
Then
But-
Delos is. Okay. Thank you, Nico.
Sure, just doing my job. What am I for? Just carrying maps and telling people where to go.
My humble guide.
Okay. So you continue to travel throughout the day. Question, Themisto.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Themisto has been sitting on deck with some of the implements that she'd brought with her, which were thankfully stowed below deck when we crashed. So she's just there, cross-legged, with a little copper brazier, working on those wooden trays that she's been literally chipping away at with a chisel. They are just about done. When she was asking Capitanios a couple nights ago for a little mallet and shark skin, she's now putting the finishing touches on these trays, and the little wooden brazier is heating up with the blocks of beeswax next to it and some of the dyes they picked up in a couple of the locations that they stopped at before are sitting next to it as well. She's using the mallet to inlay different set pieces of wood, different colors, dark and light, into the backs and sides of the trays, and then sanding them off while the tray heats up next to her. And it's not taking her full attention. She's also just watching the rest of the party and the rest of the crew. Sometimes she's looking down at the trays, sometimes she's checking on the heat of the brazier, and sometimes she's looking at everyone else, but it's as if she and her snakes are kind of taking turns doing each of these activities. So as she looks away from one of the things that she's doing, a few of her snakes kind of channel down to it, and well, she looks at everyone else. And then of course she stops to cheer on the fight, and then continues with this work. It looks like these are just about finished.
Nice.
I would say that a little bit after Laertes, did you go down below deck?
Yeah.
A little bit after Laertes leaves to go below deck, you make eye contact with Helena as she sits on the front of the ship, and she's just kind of watching you. She just kind of relaxes there. And you see her kind of like stretch her fingers. And then you hear within your mind, are you certain that you spoke to Gaia?
The Mister's going to try to think back and see if that works. Yes, it had to be her. It was a dream, but it felt far more real than I could imagine.
There have been theories as to what would happen to us if we continued growing in strength. For her to have reached you from so great a distance is truly miraculous.
I'm gonna get up from my place and walk over to her. I would like to tell the others about the entirety of my vision. I think it would be useful for everyone, perhaps, to know what I saw.
She listens, like as you're speaking, she's listening to you, but she's also looking at the things. I imagine you carry your crafting tools over to where you're sitting and kind of sit down
Yes.
and kind of keep working on it. She speaks to you while watching you work. What causes you to hesitate? Aside from opportunity, of course.
Just opportunity now, I think. Although there was a part earlier in the dream that was not about the Gaia so much as it was Apollo, that I think I wish to keep to myself for now.
As someone who has seen many things and knows many secrets, sometimes, as difficult as a decision as it may be, it is best that we keep these secrets to ourselves until they are absolutely necessary. It is a difficult job, that of a Pythia. You must learn to parse the knowledge that is useful and the knowledge that in the wrong circumstances could harm.
Yes, it was said that the Padilla that we are often too close to our own problems to know them, to have the right view. We could be walking across a dry riverbed, and if only we had climbed the side, we would see a pond or a spring. It is the view of Apollo, the sun, who can see such things, and thus the gift of the Pythia. So, do you see from the perspective of the sun at this time? Should I keep most of my vision to myself?
She shrugs. You know your companions better than I. If I were to ask you this question, would you, knowing what you know, and seeing the world as not only how you see it, but how they are beginning to see it as well, do you think they are ready for it?
For most. Perhaps for all. But I am not sure Apollo is ready for me to share certain parts.
Apollo has suffered much since the fall, but he has also given much. Many of us lost many that we loved and cared for deeply, not only over the last 1,000 years, but even before. I will tell you this, and perhaps this is part of what will become our secret until the proper time. But he and Python, as you know him, were once very good friends. But it was, one could say it was information, both withheld and given in the wrong measures, that caused much of the grief that came from that fall of the old kingdom.
I see.
And it is not, I say this not to scare you into indecision, but instead to act. When you feel that something is important, to say it. And when you feel that something should be unsaid, to keep it. Because the acting in opposition to that, sometimes our own instincts tell us what we need to know. And it is up to us to listen or not. So in this instance, your instincts are your guide.
It is a lonely duty, rather the pity.
But not no longer, eh? You have, at least to my understanding, the way you say it, someone you can turn to for guidance, yes?
I do.
And from what I have seen, you are extremely diligent in your prayers.
This is such, yes.
Then that is a boon. Clearly, Gaia listens.
I would like to gather the others if you would like to be here for this as well.
Of course. She reaches over and puts a hand on your wrist and squeezes it reassuringly. I may not be Gaia, but I will support you however I can.
I will include you in my next prayer.
Well, I hope that I hope that she receives mention of my name favorably.
Themisto will actually may I ask a favor of you?
Of course.
Can you watch this for a moment?
She smiles and takes the small bowls and tools and places them on her lap, and you see that there are in the folds of her tunic 2 wrapped parchments that also kind of spill out, and she goes, "Yes, I'm carrying everything now, but yes."
As well as our hopes. I will be right back.
No pressure. Okay.
So yes, the Themisto is going to approach everyone one at a time, I suppose, or 2 at a time, however many are grouped up, and say,
Can I add one thing before we launch into that? Very
course.
quick bit of set dressing. In the time that he would have gone below deck, he would have wanted to distract himself by going and perusing the contents of that diary. We don't have to get into that now. I liked the idea of him sitting at that same little table below deck and having a little bit of a deja vu moment of doing something else and sitting there. Maybe he was in the other chair. Was he facing that direction? Having one of those little moments, and he just tries to focus on, well, for lack of a better word, reading. So that's where she would find him, and he'd compose himself and he'd follow along wherever she wanted to have the conversation.
Hey. Well, give me 2 seconds here.
He's alive!
Oh, yes.
hey, this is perfect.
Great.
I was just about to gather the party, and it looks like I have.
Oh, I was asleep. Sorry.
He took a power nap. He literally just like fell over and just
The
on the ground.
Cypress was just stuck in a single like horrible sea squall, but that no one else experienced.
Everything all good there?
That's terrifying.
No, it really wasn't that bad. Anyway,
Very good.
He's a peerless napper.
Did you also have a nightmare in your very short sleep that
Your
you've had
nap?
in these past couple hours?
Cypress, Phoebe, Cavatanios, I would like to say something to everyone. It is about the vision that I had the other night. If you could go to Lady Helena, I'm going to go get Laertes as well.
Your visions are peerless. Excited to hear.
Yes, all 2 of them that I've had. She's modest.
Okay.
Then she'll head downstairs, below deck to find Laertes. Laertes, is something the matter? You look a little distracted.
Long day, I guess.
I see. Well, I was hoping to talk to everyone about the vision. I felt perhaps at the front of the ship where the crew is not so present.
Of course. Well, you see him very quickly kind of just start to put this thing away back to the tiny little satchel and fling it back over his shoulder. After you.
Okay, we will, the Mr. will head back up to everybody else.
You gather in the front of the ship, and Helena stands from where she is seated, placing the objects in her care carefully down in within the coils of the rope, and like leans up against the section. And as she kind of leans back a little bit on the railing, puts both her arms on the edges. She leans back. You see her like wave her hands, and for Laertes, you see these little green and black wisps that kind of like parse through the air around all of you and pass by behind you. And there is this slight shimmer to the air behind your behind where you are all standing in a huddle, and you can see it almost like she erects a little bit of a ward. And she looks over at Laertes and just goes,
He just smiles, says nothing.
My friends, we have seen many amazing things in a very short time. Things that have opened our eyes to the nature of the world. I know I was a bit hesitant to accept some of the truths that came our way, but I had a vision recently which helped me to unite these pieces, and I don't know how much will be important to all of you, but I felt that you must know, so that we are all reading from the same scrolls. At the colony the night that we spent there, as I slept, I saw... Well, first I saw Apollo. He, in a moment of great suffering, as he had just slain Python, he had such a look of regret about him. A deep, almost shame for what he had done. He told me this once, in confidence. But I bring it up to say, our stories tell of him as a hero and Python as a sinister creature. And it seems to be more complicated. And yet, when Phoebe and I were together, I saw Python as the monster he was. When Cersei had the power over us. It is a miracle that we were able to break free of this. After the moment with Apollo, I felt as if I was taken far away from here. I saw a brilliant light, and from it the voice of Gaia emerged. Eventually, she came forth. She... as if she was built out of the light itself. And she looked like me. There were others around too. Those called the Gorgani. I don't understand precisely how Gaia is about this place and this goddess I know. But she helped me to understand that she did not expect me to exist as I am, but that it was a deep wish of hers, and that I am acting as a bridge from where she is to where we are. We saw the note of a gate Adnan Parnassus to Gaia. Without that gate, it is me. I don't yet know the significance of this, but I think at some point we have to return to the V. And then I have tried to become Vitia. It is earlier than I expected, but it is something I must do. I am counting on all of you to help me sort this, to understand how it is that I have this connection to a people that I did not know was here. And unfortunately, and she's gonna look at Hecate. You had a lot of hope when I first expressed the glimpses of this. There was hope in the voice of Gaia too, but sadness. One by one, the images of the Gorgani, they disappeared from view. It made me understand, I believe, that there are few, if any, left. I may be the only one. If closing off this place from Gaia was supposed to protect it and protect her, something else may have befallen them.
Is this something that we're doing next?
I still believe that it is right to figure out this Kotal Phobos. To understand our enemy is going to be very important. I would not selfishly want to risk my home by going there too soon either. And the Vithia must stand for election. She's chosen by the people, so if we are to journey there, then I have to make sure that I am worthy before we go, so.
We will add it to our list.
During that last little bit, Amisto takes a long look at Phoebe. And continues.
Can I insight to see if there's anything you're not saying in that look?
Sure.
That is only an 11.
Okay, let's see. You can tell that Amisto has something else that she needs to say that regards you specifically.
About becoming Pythia.
And yeah, I guess that's all I'll say. Cypress, I see your mouth, but I don't
thank
hear
you.
any words.
Sorry, speaking to myself. Might as well actually voice it. The at least original reason that I joined this odyssey is for to be worthy. So obviously it's become more complicated since then, and there are now more reasons to do it. But if it's a matter of worth, I mean, at least as I understood it, the fact that we are doing this at all and that we've come this far should stand for some measure of worth. I would
agree.
hope.
I agree with that.
I appreciate that. Unfortunately, there is much that we cannot say to the people of Delphi.
Hecate,
You seem to have been afflicted by the same thing that Cyprus was a moment ago.
yeah,
You see-
voice your thoughts.
You see,
Yes,
when
yes,
this
yes.
last bit, whenever Themister just said that there are some things that they cannot say, she kind of just like smirks and then looks down at the ground and kind of nods her head. Her. I'm assuming that most everybody's attention has been on Themista while she's been speaking, yeah?
75% the Misto, 25% on the Hecate.
Make a insight or perception.
Make an inception check.
Make an inception check.
Or per side.
Would I be making an Arcana check on anything as well, or no?
No.
There's just insight or
Yeah.
What's the other one? Perception.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do perception because that has a chance of going somewhere. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Was it
That's a nat 1. So and I have a gift, but not a great gift. That's a 13.
Better than a 1.
Yeah, better than the one for sure.
A brief moment, you think Hecate is going to kill you.
I mean, our first bet about her when we first met her as Helena was that she was here to serve me papers. So
yeah. During the conversation, or while Themista was speaking, her face has been rather calm. But when she starts speaking about the Gorgani that have fallen, you can see her face darken. And she kind of like goes into a little bit of a 1,000-yard stare. And then kind of like snaps out of it and continues to listen. And then you can see her mood lighten a little bit as Themista continues, and she talks about not being able to speak about certain things, and you can see the little bit of pride there, and that was kind of easy, the kind of worry, kind of like wondering where she's gonna go when she's talking about the Pythia being elected by the people, but then her deference to that kind of like, yeah, she's not using this as a rise to power, even though it would very easily garner the praise of the people. She's Themista's showing restraint in some of these things, and so she's kind of like, yeah. She's proud of that.
I imagine also slightly reassuring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't interrupt. I just
Yeah.
let it
There's
go.
just something you noticed.
Yeah.
Cypress, what were you gonna say?
Hecate, I remember when we first set out, and it probably still is this way, that we were asked to keep this secret. Would you mind, and pardon me, reminding me why that was the case? And if it still is, when is that line crossed?
Cypress, with everything that you have seen within the last few days, if you had had no understanding that there are things far greater and far beyond the imagining that you have. Even with what little bit we told you at this outstart, what would have been your reaction had you seen that splinter of evil that you did?
Well, I don't know, but now it feels like increasingly that this is something that people who would know what to do, because you say beyond my imagination, that's I've come to realize that that's quite small in scope. So most things are. Whereas I don't know how many more people like Laertes or you, I mean, part of me is one of the gods, but those who would know how to respond, or at least smarter than I am, but would benefit from knowing.
Cypress, there are more like you than you might imagine. But I can guarantee you that there are fewer like me, and even fewer like Laertes. You 5 are some of the few Orphics that have arisen in easily 100 years. There aren't many who would be able to understand, much less be able to deal with what is happening. And perhaps there are more, but they just remain unseen. But we have been rather fortunate to have found you. And we are hoping that we do not lose everything again. And we have to be extremely careful that we do not lose everything again. There are things, sure, that we can do to warn, to aid peoples in being ready for the unknown. But if it weren't for your abilities as Orphics, you saw what happened to sailors and soldiers alike who came to that island. Some of those were well trained in their own ways, but they did not have your gifts, your blessings, your understanding, and it makes them easy prey.
What are you saying?
Will chime in. The Pythia has seen this happen before. When a warning is given, but instead it is taken to lead men to their deaths.
What are you going to say, Astrid?
Agate, are you saying that if we don't destroy this creature, scatter it, what happened to those soldiers, those sailors, will befall all those on the Aegean Sea? That plague within them will take over their bodies.
And it will spread.
That is what happened.
And those will spread beyond those. And that will continue to spread. That is why we called it the plague. Because it continues to grow and fester and warp and change. But the most sinister is when you cannot see that change.
How would we know if one of us was afflicted?
You would probably all be dead by now. As I said, we have watched you.
What? You described this as a plague. I don't really understand disease, but in my very young adult life, haven't gotten sick for quite a while since I've started my training. And I've a few times, I mean, if someone has a cold or something far simpler, I've been able to clear that up if I focus the right amount.
She reaches out for you, a hand while you're speaking. She just reaches out a hand. You can keep talking. Do you reach out?
Yeah.
She, as you're talking, she turns over your hand so that your hand is like this in hers, right? And she puts a finger on the top. And when she lets go, there is this little black dot. Wipe it away. You wipe and it smears. And then you look at your other, as you pull your hand back, there are 2 more dots on your fingers here. What do you do after that?
Laertes, you've cleaned stuff before.
I think this might be an object lesson for you.
Your friends.
But say that Laertes cannot help you.
I dip my hands in the ocean.
You blacken the ocean.
You reach down, and as you run your fingers through the water, you see this trail of black that just kind of like ink, just kind of like goes and goes and goes. And then you lift up your hand, there's now black that covers all the way to your 2 knuckles. And as you try and like wipe that away on your other hand, your hand is now smeared with more black that now is beginning to like grow. And it looks like it has little vines or inky tendrils that kind of continue across your hand. Do you keep trying to wipe it away?
No, Cypress stops for a moment.
Disease, like the plague, starts with just one thing. And then it continues to grow if it has the opportunity to infect. And everything that it touches, that it corrupts, continues to carry that plague and spread it further and further. That is disease. That is the plague. She like waves her hand and it kind of like dissipates on your, across your skin, disappears. The only way that it stopped spreading was what? When you kept everything apart. When you separated yourself from it. That is what we did. But somehow, well, it found its way back. And it nearly cost us everything. Drastic measures had to be taken. And now, that spot has fractured into smaller little specks. But all it will take is a few dozen, a few hundred, who mean well, but are not prepared. And then you have a few dozen, a few hundred more specks. And it won't take long for that plague to resume once again.
If something like that plagues the Spartan armies, or any armies in Greece, that would be our end.
And so we try and keep it contained. The few of us, the few of you who are capable. And you have proved yourselves. You have proven yourselves capable, as you have already defeated two. We must simply find the few, the more that have escaped, and try and find why this cult of Phobos desires to bring an end to everything once again.
On a smaller scale, if one is infected, is there any way to reverse, undo? Or is that it?
There was once someone who was attempting to find such a way to reverse things. But we would have to try and find... We would have to try and find a way to study it once again. It was those good intentions that nearly killed us all to begin with.
This is why you opted away from containment. Mass to energy.
It was simply too risky.
So the only way, if one gets a dot, so to speak, on their hand, it must be cut off.
Your words cut off. You can see her face kind of like shudder for a second. And she nods. And her eyes kind of grew watery.
To continue the analogy, if you've cut off the spotted hand, is the spot now on the sword or the earth as it falls?
It doesn't seem so. At least not here. You have proven that much.
Coming here changed you.
Yes.
How did coming here change it?
It reacted differently. And honestly, I wish I could say for a certainty I knew how much it changed until recently. Watching you defeat it before, defeating Ibim, defeating Serzel, they vanished. I have never seen that before. At least not during the initial plague. It simply became inert there. But here it seems to die.
And you see him give a brief, conflicted look to Themisto and Phoebe before resuming talking to Hecate. When one of you, us, die, what happens? Is it what we would expect? Is there something else that happens next?
If one of us dies, it is the same as any other person on this planet. We die. We go to Hades.
But is there a body? Does all the natural processes we would expect still remain?
Yes. It
And-
is this. What were you gonna say?
Sorry, what? Apollo? Did he go to Hades? Or did he not die?
He did not die.
Why didn't he?
That was not Apollo.
When we were back in Ilum, what I inspected was not
Human.
wasn't really a body. Not in the traditional sense.
There are some of us that have the gift of the creation of life. Some stronger in certain degrees than others. We had been experimenting with these sort of creations before. But only a few of us could master that sort of work. Paulo had many gifts. He was very blessed, is very blessed. There must be something that he knows, or there must be something he knows that we do not. And though I know he lives, I still cannot reach him. And he has
Well.
not spoken. But I do not blame him either. We're gonna say Astrid.
We are heading to Delos. Perhaps we'll find more clues there.
We are headed to Delos.
We are. The captain granted me this request.
Vivi, I'm glad you are taking us to Delos. And you too, Capitanios.
I think that will be our sanctuary for the night. And we can head west in the morning. After sunrise.
And I suppose I am to understand this place a little differently now. Delos. But I am sure there is still a significance. I would very much like to see it.
She smiles lightly. As would I. And we will go ahead and go on break there.
Oh, Sandra's
Oh.
got something.
Wait, what?
You said that the creature, this plague, dies here, but it became inert where you're from. Did it have desires then? Or is that something new that has been thrust upon it? The Eater of Hope had desire, as twisted as it was, and Serzel as well. Perhaps it is taking on the form of not humanity, but a false apprehension of what that is.
I think it is a good sign that it strives to create for itself a being, a daemon, if you will. A personification of something. Because that means that if it is trying to be someone, Baldura must not be here. Not yet. And there we'll go on break. Woo! Okay. Okay. We will be right back after these messages.
It is a name that drove fear back into our hearts and minds. Drove us to the very brink of extermination at the edges of our own universe.
And not just yours, but the Fae as well.
What happened in your realms was mirrored in ours.
And so together, we found a way to leave everything behind. Our homes, our way of life, our universe. All of it gone.
All with the hope that we could gain a power as strong as his and use it against him, united as a people.
As the Drea. So we came to Mir, this new and young universe. One whose fate is still being decided by its own people. And thanks to the sacrifice of our elders, we know this was Beldura's home.
And together, we will find a way to stop him, once and for all.
At least they will try.
No, Vix. No. You cannot. Oh, by the way, this is unrelated to what I just showed you, but did I just miss something? What? I had a big so I just missed. No, you're good, Vix. I completely understand. Needs at least 50 French horns for the space theme, right? At least. I do have this is what I wanted to share.
More bombast.
Yeah. This is what I wanted to share. So the little image of our friends, Peter and Crimson and Hunter and Reyna. Go check them out over there at Grouch Couch. They're doing
Crimson's
another.
in chat. Hunter's probably asleep because he doesn't care because we don't remember his character.
Yeah.
I remember what he looked like.
He did it to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really on us.
But if you are watching Hunter, I hope you like how many times we've been like, you know the guy with the thing.
Yeah. It's been super great. And then I did kind of fix it. It now only does the one. I need to figure out how to do the other. But we do have our own Instagram now. Woo! Yay! So we can put things in there. Oh, look, it's David. Hello. What's up, Petulant Cobra?
Hello. It's almost like your name was in
the thing.
The thing.
Yeah.
I smiled so much when our friend's name started showing up.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
You felt your ears burning? Nice. That's right. They're on fire. And I'll be tagging you later. He knew I was here. Just following
Now that
you.
we can tag people with Instagram.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a link tree yet.
I charge $1 every time you people say it, so keep going.
I love it. But yeah, so super looking forward to hanging with our friends. Vic, super looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. Not me. I mean, I will see you, but you will not see me. But you will see my name, but you will not see my face. All of that stuff.
And they are super looking forward to being seen by you.
I want Valeria to do social media for
That
a
is
long
the weirdest sounding Red Light District ad I have ever heard.
Which you
Very
won't have.
They can't
luck.
wait to be seen by you.
Listen, Petulant Cobra. I have already found you in the one post that you have, and it is very adorable. That's all I'm gonna say. Now you need to. I would be disappointed. Yeah, okay. I will just pop
Vix,
in there.
somebody has to voice the Bumble Dragon. Oh, what did we want to tell Vix about the Bumble Dragon that you all requested?
Oh, that it needs to be a bumblebee the size of a dragon, or
No, there was something else.
That it's Hugh Grant.
Oh,
It
that it's
disem-
Hugh Grant because
It
someone wanted it to
disembowels
be a
itself
bumbling
upon
dragon.
any attack.
Oh, And he kind of needs to be dressed up a little like the telenovela Bumblebee from The Simpsons. Mr. No
Hugh
Magusta
Grant
himself.
wearing a bumblebee costume. The size of a dragon.
Yeah.
And incredibly clumsy.
Aaron, can you do a Hugh Grant voice?
No.
You have till Sunday.
Okay, I'll work on it.
They do travel in hives.
No, not Jurassic Park. All right, can you write this out for me and send me? I'll forget in like 4 seconds.
Taco, clip it for her. Done.
There you go. We'll watch 4 weddings and a funeral. Love it. All right. Let's.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just a D&D party standing in front of a bumble dragon asking it to die.
A kids on brooms party.
Oh my god, that's
made up to
amazing.
murder.
All right. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do before you get to Delos?
I was just gonna resume.
Oh yeah. If there's
trying
more
to read not the conversation. More just if that conversation's done, if it's petered out, I would have gone back to try and resume reading that diary crystal to see if there's anything there for now. I don't know if he actually wrote anything or.
Which one?
This was the one that seemed like it was attached to what you were calling spell books for the sake of simplicity.
Yes. Okay. Make an arcana. Make an intelligence check for me.
My arcana's better. Okay.
Maybe just be smarter.
I'm literally the smartest person on this planet, according to the stats of this game. So here's the great thing. I'm going to undo that. Because I can. It's funny because I was...
They'll never know how many times I failed with my time powers.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, is that apparently I can, in fact, do that. But it's also useless. That's better than a nat 1, but barely.
Is that your second nat 1 tonight?
What was it?
Total of 9.
Okay. There is...
Can't be 15. No.
You you begin to start to parse some of the information in this. It is written in a strange, the information is kind of in a strange sort of cipher. You can see the images in your head. So it's one of those weird things of like you're holding onto it and you're it's like how would I describe this? It's kind of like trying to read a book with a very large magnifying glass. You're having to kind of see only parts of it, and what you do understand is clear, but it's hard to kind of like once your magnifying glass moves past it, it's hard for your brain to latch onto the ideas. 10 was the DC for this, so it's like you're able to understand part of it, and basically what you can parse basically is that this was a recording from Sarani, the elder Drea, that Risun Rhea. She was. Risun mentioned mentioned it in one of in that first recording.
Okay.
As being
somewhere.
Risun mentioned it once. You aren't gonna get the whole thing, but what you do get is a little bit of, it's like a weird text that starts to read itself in your brain, and it's partially in your like inner voice, but also partially in somebody else's. And so that's probably what causes this weird disjunction of information. But what you get is I have hidden these away in our mausoleum, records of what brought us so far from home, what drove us so far from home. Contained within this Cleosite are some of my work on the recent, well, by my standard, changes that I went through with the Qual Law effect. And it kind of starts to like ramble on, but the meaning starts to get lost. So a little more study on this, and you will be able to unlock some information that I will share with you.
Okay. Well, that was my big play.
Okay. Lore. Anything else you guys wanted to do before you arrive in the evening? Oh, Cypress, what were you gonna say?
I have a quick idea. Cypress is mulling over all of this just new information, this new weight that they're carrying, and the urgency of what they are doing. And he recalls a ritual that the elementals of back home sometimes would use. And he realizes that he's never tried it for a variety of reasons. But he's going to try and cast Find Steed. And if possible, it can only be Fey, Celestial, or Fiend. And maybe we can rule it as one of those, but could it be elemental in nature?
Yeah.
Or at least in appearance?
Yeah. It was literally, well, sort of. There is a creature amongst the mythologies that is part horse and part almost like mermaid, and the name is escaping me at this exact moment.
I think in like
Hippogriff?
Irish, it's a
Hippogriff?
Kelpie,
Yeah,
No,
it's kind of.
but
Hippogriff's
I don't
different.
know its like Greek name.
Hippocampus?
Oh, that sounds a little closer. I'd have to like look at it.
That's a brain thing, but yeah.
Is it
But
a
yes.
Capricorn? Like, I don't know if that's.
It is a hippocampi.
Uh,
The head and front legs of a horse and the strong tail of a dolphin.
it's-
They
that what that
led
is?
Poseidon's chariot.
Yep. Yep.
It is a hippocampus.
Okay, that explains Crapopolis, if anyone's seen that show a bit.
Mm-mm.
Actually, one of the names of the characters, and he's an ugly fish man.
Well, so, okay, hold on. We're going to do something for this then. Describe to me how you would like this spell to take effect. Like, how would you go about this?
Cypress goes up to the back of the ship. What is the name of that?
Stern.
Stern, thank you. Opposite of the bow. And he, despite being fluent in Primordial, does not often speak it due to the fact that it is kind of a thing for him too. It's always been a necessity that he understand what he's told, but not necessarily be able to respond in. So, being somewhat unfamiliar with the sound of his own voice using these primordial words, he's going to call upon the wind and the water, and beckon very hesitantly, but with some attempt at having command as is necessary for this spell to work. Request the aid of the wind and the sea
Okay.
to hasten him on his journey.
Nice. I like this because as you are on the back of on the butt of the ship, as Vic says,
The ass.
watching the wake behind the ship, which is not like moving crazy fast, like you're on a speedboat where the waves are like going crazy, but you do see this swirling water as it like is disturbed by as the boat's passing or the ship's passing. You see the water kind of start to rise in its own little bubble, and for a moment it kind of does look like a dolphin is beginning to rise from the waters. You see like this little blob of blue, and then rising higher and higher, you see what looks like a horse, and you can see its front legs running on the surface of the water, but the back end is like this spray. And you realize that it does kind of does take its form. We are going to say it's going to be classified as a celestial, but it will take the shape of a watery hippocampi of a hippo.
Wikipedia says hippocampus or hippocamp.
A hippocamp? Okay. So we'll call it a hippocamp. But you see it kind of like run along the side of the ship. And you just see the two hooves kicking up the water in the back of the water. It's like when you see like dolphins or aquatic shows where the dolphins kind of go across the water, and you see it's just like a bunch of splash as they lift up out of the water with the back ends of their tails. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like shh behind it as it like seems to gallop and run alongside the ship.
Hesitantly, if he recalls the spell correctly, he's going to try to reach out mentally to this being.
Mm-hmm. It responds.
Did you hear my summons? You don't need to come up with a voice for it.
No, I would say it's not gonna. I don't think it necessarily will give you like a language back, but it definitely you understand each other in such a way that, yes.
Cypress is gonna look around the boat and leap over the back.
You hear Astrid from wherever you are at on the ship. You hear Eric's go, "Up, man, overboard!" You turn, snap your head around just in time to see like the back end of Cypress's leg disappear over the side of the ship.
And we'll proceed to ride the hippocamp like a badass, including every time it goes under the water.
Make an athletics check for me.
As a bonus action, just so I can do this properly, I will channel Divinity for Peerless Athlete.
Nice.
I can't have the first one be bad.
Or can you?
I mustn't. So, advantage. $25.
Oh yeah, that's enough. Did you ever see Avatar: The Way of Water?
No.
Okay. Well, I can't make this reference to you for you then. But there's there's basically the water creatures that has like the wings. It's kind of doing exactly what I'm imagining here. And the moment it dives underwater, that kind of like pressure of the water going by so fast that you're trying to hold on, but you hold on. It was a 15, so I figured you would be able to make us 15. It's called waterbending, Aaron. But yeah, not that Avatar, the other one. The one with the blue people. Okay.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, you have yourself a steed. How long does it last for?
Instantaneous.
No. How long
duration?
Right, but how long does the steed stay around?
I'll check from my quick read through. I think it is there until
told otherwise.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Casting time's 10 minutes. Yeah, if it drops to 0, it's gone. I can dismiss it, but otherwise, It doesn't
Nice.
go away.
Nice. All right, cool. I like that. We'll have to figure. We'll figure out like
No,
a
of
name.
course. That's why I figured
all
it'd be
that
better
jazz.
to use it now when it isn't needed.
That's fine.
When
We'll
it
say
isn't
that.
steeded.
No. We'll say that Astrid, as you get up to the top of the ship, wherever Eric was looking, you kind of watch as like some of the crew kind of go over to the side as well, like trying to be like, "Oh God, do we stop?" And they see Cypress jumping in and out of the waves while riding this water elemental horse. Just kind of
Armor
like
off, locks waving through the air every time he surfaces.
Oh yeah, you are definitely soaked at the moment. What in the Titanic was that? Just like, I feel like I'm flying, tells to no one in particular. Beautiful.
I'm just enjoying myself. They can look if they want.
Helena comes over to where Laertes is, as you guys are like watching this himbo on his horsey.
Some sort of himbo.
Himbo. Yeah. Oh my God.
Himbo campus. There we go. Got it. Moving on.
We got there.
hate it.
Of course, that sounds like the title of the sex tape, but
Whoa.
Leave it to Laertes to think of.
She looks over at you, Laertes.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes I forget the simplicity and the imagination and creativity that goes into these things.
Does that fade with time?
It did,
Great.
but perhaps this new blood will reinvigorate those of us who have chosen to slumber.
Well, maybe I'll have time to do more.
One can hope.
But of course, as he says that, he's looking down at this crystal that basically just went password not accepted at him. And he's just gonna put that away for later. Like he just had a really good moment with the teacher, and now it's just he failed a test, and he's like, just gonna hide that for later. Nothing. Don't worry about it. He doesn't need to know yet.
She puts a hand on your shoulder. All in due time. And stands up. All right. Well, now that Cypress has his horse on a stick. Horsey. Yeah, I was literally thinking of like a boy was just like running around the house. Okay. The rest of the day goes by rather easily. And as the sun begins to set, if there is nothing else that you guys are doing or wanting to say or do, then we will have the ship, just as the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the island there of Delos begins to come to life as the evening lanterns are lit in this small town as you guys approach. There's a little bit of nerves as the ship approaches, and the last few times that you have made dock closer to Kritan and how it had affected some of the ports around there. But you see no outwardly visible signs of any damage from the ocean, from the storm, no wreckage. It all seems well as you've seen people tending to their ships as they moor them and tie them off to the boardwalk as the ship begins to approach.
Themisto gives thanks in the direction of the setting sun.
All right. What are you guys doing?
Astrid will go to. Astrid's going to go to, I guess, meet like the portsman. Check her shipping.
Okay. As the ship pulls into the dock, you can see a couple of the sailors there on the boardwalk casting ropes up to your sailors and vice versa as it's tied to the side. A gangway is lowered and you're able to disembark. A weathered-looking individual, human, about late 50s probably, comes up to you as you disembark with your, I'm assuming with the gang in tow, or do you disembark first with Eric's, or what are you doing?
Yeah, the gang in tow, I'd hope. Yeah.
Okay.
Call it gangway, so.
Oh no. Oh yeah, which reminds me, I guess, to that point, Cypress, the fuck are you doing?
Fuck am I doing? What have I done? Cypress will reach out to the hippocamp, who he has realized is named Carisha. And
You'll have to spell that one for me.
Yeah, you have to drop that one in chat.
well, I decided because Sander redeemed a name, so we're gonna change its spell it around.
I have to do that. Oh, it's fun.
Harry Shaw was what he was.
Oh.
Gosh.
And he was gonna try and figure out, can Carisha become land-based?
It's just this slobbering mass.
I mean, it is your steed, but I would imagine that, yeah, probably, sure, why not?
Thank you. It does not ever need to become aerial-based at this moment, but I'm preferably able to take it with me when I'm not on the ocean. In which case, probably shifts to a more horse-looking form, and flops up, but then straightens up on land.
Make an intelligence check for me. I want to see if you realize something or not.
Oh no. Intelligence. 18.
We'll say that as the ship is
Learning.
being, he's learning. The ship is being brought up, or like bringing up to the deck, and you see all the people around. You begin to remember the reaction that your glowing eyes had on a couple of people, and the thought crosses your mind: what would happen if a horse made out of water would appear on the docks of a small town? Just as I'll give you that one before you do it.
Carisha, stay in the surf. Less than a mile out. I won't go too far.
The understanding comes across, and as you get close, she
Sure.
sure dips below
They.
the water.
It's an elemental.
Right. Faye dips below the water and kind of begins to disappear a little bit, but you can feel the presence of it moving you still, so you kind of like, it looks for all intents and purposes like you are pushing through the water really fast, and you get pushed up to the dock. There is a brief moment where one of the sailors on the side kind of looks down at you and is like, wow, you're a very fast swimmer.
I am. And they'll just mount the dock from seemingly nothing. day for it.
The sailor kind of helps you up as the rest of the crew is currently in the process of disembarking. This old man
He
comes
played
up
too.
This old man goes to Astrid and goes, welcome to Delos. My name is Daniil.
We are friends to Apollo. We've come to yes.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It switched. It
There we
switched. Yeah. And we heard you, and then it just shifted directions from where the mic went.
Yeah, we've come to seek his sanctuary and give our praise to Apollo before we head out to sea again tomorrow.
Ah. Well, welcome to Delos. Where is your destination?
We're heading towards the Sparta.
Ah, I see. Well, enjoy your stay here in Delos. It will be 5 silver.
5 silver? Yes. And silver.
He takes a note of your ship's name and starts speaking with Eric's as far as like getting provisions and stuff for the next day, if there are anything that they need, allowing you and the rest of the crew to disembark and do as you will. As you are starting to walk away, he goes, "Oh, by the way, keep your crew close by."
What do you say?
There's been some disappearances across the island recently. Just mind yourselves. Be careful on your travels.
Of Mykonos, Nalos, and here?
Yes.
Okay. How long has it been going on?
Just recently. Just the last few days, perhaps. Nothing to be too worried about. Unfortunately, with the weather lately, storms have caused a lot of disruption. But just be careful. Keep an eye out.
Do you mean entire ships or just some people?
A few fishing villages reported missing people. A few ships have gone missing, but sometimes that is the nature of Poseidon's fury.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you. I win.
You guys head deeper into this? Oh, God.
Oh, she'll just turn to the rest of the party to make sure that they heard that. And then
Helena, as she disembarks, comes over to you, Captain. Thank you ever so much for rescuing me from that terrible misfortune that I could have undergone. It was truly a miracle that I survived as I did. You and your crew should be commended, and for that, I have, she's like digs her hands through her dress like she's trying to find something, then pulls out a small bag for all of your troubles and as a small token of my thanks for bringing me to safe shores.
Thank you, Helena.
Of course. Now, of course, you're not going to just leave me on the dock. She wraps her arm through yours. You can at very least take me to an inn or tavern. Make sure that a lady such as myself does not get mugged on the street, of course.
Of course.
She turns to the rest of your crew and says, "Thank you for being such hospitable guests." Or, no. Should I have said that?
Hosts?
Yes, that is the word that I was looking for. Thank you for being such hospitable hosts. If you ever find your way in Ilum, please try and find me. I dare you. And then we're gonna say. What were we gonna say?
Oh,
Jeez.
just a little bit of the turntables where he's sort of just watching. I wouldn't say a student, but someone else kind of just maybe intentionally fluster their way through something.
Make an insight check for me.
Yeah, I kind of figured she's fucking with this, but yeah. Ooh. 17. Not my worst roll today.
Yeah, you have heard her speak in not only a slightly different tone, but almost a whole different accent. This is definitely kind of, she's playing up her part a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is quite comical to see someone who normally speaks with such precision to suddenly go like slightly ditzy.
I think for a moment he's really enjoying that bizarre journey of I am a faraway being from another universe to la 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 la. this ditzy like Aegean Valley girl out on spring break, effectively.
As you guys are walking away from the crew as they're finishing up business, and it is just you five and her, you see her tone kind of shift and change into a little more serious. Let me see here. And she is walking along. As much as I wish that I could continue traveling with you, there are a few things that I must check in on, particularly seeing what came of Eri's conversation, if he indeed found his father or not, and share what information was given to me by all of you, to those who would definitely have a sense of relief to know that we are not truly as alone as we had once thought we were. She turns to the Misto, so I thank you for that. She turns to, go ahead, Cypress, what were you going to say?
Can you clear something up for me real quick, Hecate?
She smiles.
Or,
of course.
Here, Helena.
It's fine.
The other gods, I remember Poseidon and possibly Zeus tried to seal away whatever was in the ruins well before we got there, and I had thought I understood that something had happened to them. Are they all right?
We have not heard. We do not know.
How many are not accounted for?
We do not keep a tally of where everybody is, as much as I would like to. Most have chosen obscurity, or have hidden themselves from the watchful eye that I can create for myself.
Apollo is under this eye, yes. But not them.
I have seen the signs that he is alive. That much I know. But he has not reached out to us But he is, of course, also in hiding.
All four of the gods that went after this creature have not reported back.
We did not know who had tried to intervene until today. Now we know for certain. Now we can try and look. But I will keep him. I will speak to you when I am able. Once I hear anything, I will pass it on to you. But try not to worry. You have your own difficulties ahead of you. And the world is getting dangerous more and more so by the moment. These disappearances so close to where these fragments spread out from, I do not think that they are a coincidence. So keep your wits about you. Perhaps we will find more information along the way.
Is the means to, and he gives a look around just to make sure that they're still kind of private. Is the means to the priory, is that still being worked on?
Yes. But soon, hopefully. We are working on cleaning one of the smaller residences away so that we can use it more regularly than we have been. The one in Crete is probably the closest, but there is a lot of empty space there. There is one further north. We're trying to see if that one will work for now. It is close to it's close to Olympus.
Well, I look forward to getting to see it.
One day. But for now, I am going to... She looks around at some of the people disappear into the crowd, as it were. Best of luck to you all. And don't forget your prayers. Us gods are always listening. She kind of, as she says that last bit, she's like walks backwards into the crowd and just kind of like turns around on her heel and kind of disappears as the people are moving by.
One of those weird things where he's watching a woman walk away, but not for the reasons that most would expect. He's trying to figure out how she did that.
The Misto snakes reacted for just a moment when she said Olympus.
All right. So, you find yourself in Delos. This, it's more of a town. It's not really like a village. 2 seconds. Pull this thing up again. But you can see up on the as with it seems like a lot of these villages and the hilly nature of the Helens islands and landscape in general, there's like a little bit of a slope to this town. As you can see up near the top, there are some larger structures that look like temples, and what looks like a large amphitheater that you can see that's kind of cut into part of this hill. and the temples kind of sit around it and in and around it. You guys are wanting to go up there first, or are you wanting to find a place to stay for the evening?
The mister was
Preferably
going to
close to the shoreline.
suggest that we find a place to stay.
I agree.
Okay. Excellent.
Are there any shows going on in the amphitheater? Any?
No.
There's
There's no
amphitheater.
theater here.
I mean, you can just see that there is an amphitheater. It's not like it's, you know,
used?
yeah.
Laertes, do you write plays?
Just tragedies.
Funny, I write sins, not tragedies. Sorry.
I was waiting.
It's almost as if that's what I was going for.
Haven't you people ever heard of busting the goddamn door?
Oh no. Okay.
Much better the place. Never mind.
Let's see here. Well, you do have a couple of choices.
Are any of them a saucy puppet show?
No. You do have a couple of what could be if by asking around, you do find that there are about 2 places that kind of like the old lady's place from before, that are more like homes that are renovated or used as like places to stay for the evening for those who are traveling.
How suspicious is the old lady?
So suspicious.
Do we
She's
need to
got
read
It's the same old lady.
she's got
That is suspicious.
this old lady has an eye patch. No, I'm just kidding. There's no. I was waiting for a reaction.
Just on the
Oh,
other
Is her
eye.
name Myopia or
Let's see.
Monocles?
Wow.
One place is
Borneo.
Euthemia's care, and
Jesus.
the other one.
It's interesting.
Oh wait, this is not the right list.
The other
Euthemia's care, and then Caris's grace are the 2 like hostel hotels. I don't know. I never can pronounce that word
hostel,
right.
Yeah,
Is it
Well,
hostel?
now I'm suspicious. The hostile hotels.
hostels.
They're
Hostile.
hostile against each other. It's very intense rivalry.
Yeah.
If we were to leave today, there'd be 2 hotels and a box canyon.
Do we want care or do we want grace?
Can we see either of them from where we are standing?
Well, no. One is basically close to the water. So a little more on the host
Budget-friendly?
Yeah, budget-friendly host sailors regularly kind. That would be the care. And then Caris's grace is a little further up the hill, a little closer to the temples.
Let's go to that one. You two
Yes, that one.
the other one.
The one
You
nearest the
need Caris's
temples.
grace?
You two deserve to be near the one next to the temples.
I always carry the gods with me, but it is appreciated. I would like to see the temples here, so.
It also looks like they're on top of the temple. Sorry, on top of the hill. You can get a better view of the sunrise. As you should.
However, I'm not certain we have a lot of money.
Hmm.
Let me check what I've got.
Astrid, what's in the bag?
It's in the bag. 7 gold.
No.
And 7 silver. Oh, wait, what do you mean?
The bag that Hecate just left you.
Oh, I have checked. Let's open it
You open the
together.
bag. There's 700
I owe
gold
you
in
one
there.
bag. Oh, I was gonna say one bag of IOU riches or something.
I thought it was just I owe you one bag.
It's a picture of herself laughing.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm going like this.
Okay, so what's actually in the bag?
700
The
gold.
troll face.
Oh,
Wait, so sorry, what was it?
700 gold.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
Oh wow.
No, just one of them.
But it's actually 700 Dogecoin, and no matter what universe you're in, it has no
Only-
value.
Oh no.
Oh, that's my new theory about the previous universe. It was destroyed by NFTs just storming through.
No.
Well, we'll find out on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Non-fungible bad guy.
Well, I think we
140 each.
can afford Caris's grace then.
Yes. Unless they are overcharging.
Yeah, I'll like disperse that between us all.
Well, now I had to have 154 gold.
All right.
The hotel management.
Is it more than a mile from the docks?
No.
Because if so, I'll just need to tell Carisha to come up on land. It might
put her in the
spook some
bucket.
people.
Strap buckets of water. Oops. And then
Well, she'll survive. I mean, it's more that we wouldn't have much incognito depending on how close we are to a hippocamp made of water. Or a horse.
So we're going to Caris's grace.
Yes.
yes.
All right.
Can you spell the name of that?
Yeah.
Karen's grace.
Will I spell a name right? Nope.
Ah, yeah, no. Not even close for me. Charis.
Charis.
Charis' grace.
Themisto, make a religion check for me.
I'll do just that. Let's see what we go. The Misto rolled super low.
Oh no.
So this is one time when their religion's going to fail. It's 10.
10. As you are walking up to this place, you see that the sign that kind of hangs on the side of the wall near the door, it shows 3 women, and the one in the center, the one that seems to be most prominently featured, the name under it is Caris, but let me see here.
I feel like I have heard of this somewhere before, but it escapes me.
There is some tie to religion there, but like you said, it's like it just barely escapes you a little bit.
Perhaps a story I've heard from one of the priests.
But you go
I'll
up,
think about it.
and as you knock on the door, there is a moment of silence before you hear a thum, 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 thum. As you feel the vibration of footsteps below on your feet, and you realize how big this door actually is. It almost looks like a gate for a like that you would see around a fence or of some sort. And as the door opens and the light pours out, into the evening street, the ginormous shadow of a minotaur covers you all. As you guys go like opening the door, you your head's tilted back up a little bit as this nearly 8-foot tall minotaur woman looks down at you. Oh, hello, little ones, she says with a large smile. Welcome to the Grace. And she steps to the side and gestures for you to enter. And that is where we will end for tonight.
What?
What?
Today went by so quickly. What?
Question: are we playing next week or not?
I think that means we get the longest rest.
We could see. We'll see. We'll just kind of play it by ear. Because I don't want anybody rushing.
I'm not gonna be rushing. Actually, that is unknown.
How well did
but
that work
I
for
think we
Cora?
should go forward anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, but you gotta be here for these scenes.
This is true. I have things to say to people, of the whole crew and also to Phoebe.
Yeah.
She will not be a Russian. She will be
Oh no.
Gorgani.
This is
Oh no.
my accent is not supposed to be Russian, so I hope that's not what's happening.
All right, guys. Well, that was great. Looking forward to seeing where these stories are going to continue to go. Genasi, don't worry. We'll see each other soon. At least we'll see each other soon. Very,
How would you
very
know?
soon. Wahahaha. But yes, thank you guys all for hanging out. We will see you guys next week. We'll see Hunter. We will see you on Friday over at Grouch Couch. We will see Dreamy over and Vix over at Top Down Tabletop Sunday morning, and then we and Hunter and Cypress will see each other again Sunday evening.
And David.
And David over there, Petulant Cobra. We'll see all of y'all Sunday night for the first session of Fall of Bahiri. Yeah, it is going to be a big week. Lots of excitement.
We're all playing the same characters, you know.
Yeah, it's just Cypress. Just Cypress again. That's what it is. All right. Well, let me see here.
We can go 2 more hours.
Yeah, we can keep playing. Let's keep playing. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much. Don't forget, stay fey, be brave, safe words mango. I feel like we had another one that we'd come
We
up
did
with.
have another
science.
one.
Oh, for science. Safe
Do
words mango.
science.
Oh, do science. I thought if we could just be like, the safe word is mango for science. That makes sense, right?
I don't know. Do science and the safe words mango kind of works for me.
Oh no! And on that note, we'll see you next time for Science is Mine. Exactly, LV. Exactly.